Hey, Tio here. Today I want to talk about a good win we got with one of my clients. So basically, let me go. I made a post about that. So it was here. Yes. So we made a sale. We got somebody buying one of the product on cold traffic, right, for like $37, and then having the same person buying a done for you backend program for 19.5K, right? So just to show you quickly the stats, right? So this guy was called Phil, right? This person right there, right? And then inside the invoices, right? We just got the invoice right there for 19.5K, right? So you could see like May 4th, right? And then May 1st, right? Which is nuts. Like somebody like buying like a complete stranger, right? Somebody who has no idea who my client was, somewhere in the States, right? Check one ad, clicked on it, buy a low ticket product for $37, and then 3 days later, buy a 19.5K backend program, right? So it's like a done for you backend service, right? And the way we did this is very simple. I mean, I've already went through the funnel, right? But basically, so that was like the $37. Let me zoom in a bit. Yeah, $37 product, right? And then you got the upsell path, but I'm not going to go for that, right? But basically, once they buy this, right? I mean, I can still show it, right? So let me actually remove this quickly, just to show you the path one more time. But basically, it's $37 the front end, right? So front end is a $37 product, right? And then basically the OTO1 is $97, and the OTO2, that's the key here. OTO2 is a workshop, right? And like the amount of people who actually go through the funnel and buy, right? Around 40% sign up for the workshop, right? Which is very good number, right? 40% of them actually go through the workshop. And the thing is, so basically once they buy afterwards, we've got this sequence in place, right? So we've got a couple sequence, right? But the goal is for them to attend the workshop, right? And in the workshop, my client go over the method, right? And show them how they can implement this very fast. And at the end of it, he offers them to book a call, right? So basically, we've got different email sequences that come, right? So first of all, like if they do not sign up, so let's say this is the workshop, right? If they don't sign up, right? So they say no, right? We've got some email sequences, right? We have beautiful emails right there, but redirects them to that, right? Because we really want them to sign up to the workshop, right? And then if they do sign up, right? So yes, in here again, we've got email sequences to make sure they sign up to the workshop, right? And the thing is, like for that customer right there, the customer who actually bought the 19.5K program, right? He actually, bought the whole thing on, so it was like on May 1st, right? On May 1st, right? And then he signed up in the workshop. on the same day, right? So the fun thing is that that workshop was happening on the very same day, right? So he attended the workshop on the 1st, right? Then afterwards, he booked a call, right? And then literally like he got the call booked, right? And then he got like the call itself, right? And that happened on the 4th of May, right? 4th of May, yeah. And that's, you know, that's where we got the 19.5K done for you sale, right? But the workshop was key in this, right? The key was the workshop, right? Because the goal of the workshop is very pretty much it's live, right? And it's like a webinar, but it's like we are pushing them to really implement what they're getting in the front end. And it's very powerful, right? Because nowadays the key to ascension, right, is to get them to consume your content, right? Because if they're not consuming, they know they're not gonna ascend, right? So basically consumption, right, equal ascension, right? So I'm not sure if I made a typo here, but yeah, that's the key. That's the key, right? And the cool thing is that during a workshop, right, it's live, right? It's like a webinar, right? It's very easy for you to go them from the very start of the course and getting them to consume everything, right? And then this really helps them to build awareness, right? So they can really understand their problem, understand the solution, understand the product itself, right? And then as well, nudge them, right, to show them like, hey, like if you want to get there faster, this is how I can help you, right? And that's where you can pitch the backend program, right? In this case, this was not the backend program, which is like around 5K. This was about the ultra backend, which is the done for you type of service, which is sold for 19.5K. And yeah, and we're going to get more people attending the workshop, right? So there's going to be more backend sales opportunities for my client, right? But just to say that, you know, to get somebody to buy a $37 product and then ascend them to buying a 19.5K program, the big key, right, was the workshop, right? The workshop was essential in doing this, right? Now there are many different ways to do this, right? You can do like welcome email sequences that redirect them to like a webinar, right? Like with a timer saying like, hey, you know, in the next few days, we're going to have this webinar, right? So you need to attend that. And then this is where you can pitch them the backend, right? Or you can have like welcome email sequences with a type of book a call, right? So they can directly book a call with somebody in your team, right? But I really like the workshop because it's live. It's like a webinar, like it's like a webinar disguise, right? And it's live and it's about implementation, right? And you can build awareness very fast, right? And get them to consume, right? And the more consumption, right? The more they consume, the more they're gonna ascend, right? So that's why it's key, right? So that's pretty much how we ascended like a 37 buyer to here, right? All the way to a 19.5K, right? Of course, those are outliers, right? That's what I call like instant high ticket buyers. Like in some offers I've worked on, there's always somebody who just like literally like buy the there's so many colors in the thing. Let's see, what can I put? Doesn't matter. Yeah, somebody that buys, you know, the front end, the upsell, the work, the bumps as well, right? So we got bump 1, we got bum too. They buy everything, right? And then once they get to the either the workshop or like a page where we can pitch them on the book a call, they just book the call straight up, and then they just buy the back end like within like a couple of days, right? So these people always they exist, right? They are outliers. They don't they're not always there, you know. But I would say like when you have like this type of offers, right? You have different type of buyers, you know. You always have like the type of curious buyers, right? A beautiful rating. I mean, these people, they're like, they buy the product, but they never ascend, right? So it's like, there's no ascension, right? And then these are like curious buyers. They can be like as well like funnel hackers, or they're people that just want to buy stuff but then they don't take action, right? So they're like non-action taker, right? And you know they buy their front end, that's great, but then they never ascend, right? Then you got the people who I like to call timeline buyers, right? And these ascend, right? But they can take like, it really depends. It can take like days, weeks, if I can write, or months. So for these people, it really depends. It can take more time, right? They need to be exposed to more touch points. They need to see how your product is working for others, right? So through repetition, right? They can see that. And sometimes it's like about circumstances, right? Some people, they cannot afford to buy a backend straight up, right? So for them, it can take more time, right? But it's so funny, sometimes you get a buyer and then like literally like 5 months later, you get that person to buy the backend, right? So yeah, so this happened, right? And then of course, like we got today, we've got the instant high ticket buyer, right? And these ascend fast, right? But these are outliers, right? You don't have, only a few people, few of them do that, right? But the cool thing is that, you know, you get these buyers, these buyers, these buyers, even though they're not gonna all ascend, right? The cool thing is that all of them, right, they're gonna contribute to liquidate your ad spend, right? Which is very cool, right? Because if you're only focusing on instant high ticket buyer, you know, this type of thing, this is like more a type of book a call funnel, right? The book a call funnel, what they do is they pitch the backend straight up to the market, right? And when they do that, they get people who have a high level of awareness, which are the instant high ticket buyers. These people, they already know the solution, the product, they're super aware, right? You don't need to explain them much, and they are in a position where they're in pain, right? They need a solution urgently, and they don't have time at all, right? They would rather have somebody just coaching on everything to get results faster than watching a whole course and then spending like weeks or months implementing it, right? So that's what like a book a call funnel do. It kind of targets them straight up, right? And it works, right? It works. It's great too, right? But the low ticket funnel, the cool thing is that you're targeting these buyers, these buyers, these buyers, right? And this really helps you make more money, right? Because, and scale, because you can really use all this money back to liquidate the ad spend, right? So hopefully I get to improve with my drawing skills, because it's still like very like trash. I get there, it's just a pain in the ass to like kind of talk and then have my iPad on top of my Mac, but I'll get there. So hopefully this was helpful. I'm going to share more wins. And then, yeah, in the next video, I'm going to talk about a new self-sort I've been working on, and it's been crushing it for my client. So yeah, I wish you a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.